The Department of Veterans Affairs released its latest strategic plan in March. The plan looks at the goals and objectives for the next 6 years. We sat down with Acting Assistant Secretary of the Office of Policy and Planning, Bob Snyder, to hear more about it. Hey, Bob.
Good morning.
Good morning. So, why does the VA have a strategic plan?
Well, first, all federal agencies are required to have a submitted strategic plan every 4 years in accordance with the GPRA Modernization Act of 2010. GPRA stands for Government Performance and Results Act. But much more importantly than a compliance requirement, the VA uses its strategic plan to take its long-term vision, identify the goals and objectives that we need to fulfill to get to that long-term vision. And then the strategic plan provides a framework for us to build our performance metrics, measure our performance, allocate resources to make sure that we really do get to that long-term vision that we've identified for ourselves.
Great. And what is in the strategic plan?
Well, the strategic plan really has both a midterm and a long-term focus. In the midterm, it continues on, identifies and articulates the 3 agency priority goals for 2014 and 2015. Those 3 agency priority goals include increasing access to our services and benefits for veterans, ending the disability claims backlog by 2015, and finally completing the rescue phase of the effort to end veteran homelessness by 2015. In the longer term, there are 3 overarching strategic goals in the long term. One is empowering veterans to improve their own well-being. 2 is improving and enhancing our partnerships. And finally, the 3rd strategic goal is improving our internal processes to serve veterans. So in one respect, you've got an external-facing goal that's oriented towards our customers, our veterans. Second, you've got a lateral goal that is focused on improving the partnerships with other agencies and private sector organizations that also serve veterans. And finally, you've got an internal-facing goal focused on improving our own internal processes.
Great. And how was the strategic plan developed?
Well, the plan was developed through a very comprehensive process. First of all, the strategic planning team with representatives from across the VA, all organizations and stakeholders, were involved in a bottom-up analysis of the strategic environment and building the plan. There was also a top-down component. The VA senior leadership was very much involved. There was a number of off-sites and retreats where senior leaders had their opportunity to significantly influence the plan. So it was developed through both a top-down and a bottom-up process, kind of meeting in the middle. Also should be highlighted that we went through a very extensive collaboration process. Beginning in the spring of 2012, we socialized the outline of the plan with a number of people and organizations outside the VA to include congressional staffers, the National Association of State Directors for Veterans Affairs, veteran service organizations, military service organizations, the VA union, etc. We even put the plan on the Federal Register to solicit input from the public. So the plan was developed in a very comprehensive fashion, both bottom-up and top-down, and also socialized quite a bit before we published in March of 2014.
And what is new about this plan?
This plan is a continuation or consistent with our previous strategic plan. The previous plan focused on improving quality of services, increasing customer satisfaction, preparedness, and also improving our processes. But where the previous plan focused on improving individual areas of performance, this plan really focuses on integration of our services and synchronization of our services across the enterprise. It also emphasizes measuring our success and our performance based upon our outcomes on veterans, so it's really much more focused on the outcomes to veterans. And finally, there's a real emphasis on serving our veterans when, where, and how they want to be served.
How does this plan affect VA employees?
Well, the plan will cascade down. The intent is for the strategic plan to cascade down to the strategic plans of subordinate organizations and their operating plans as they build their plans to implement the overall vision. We have a executive sponsor identified for each of the 10 major objectives, and strategy leads for the 50 strategies associated with the plan. So I think employees will see that there will be a lot more collaboration, a lot more integration across the organization, and they'll be involved in that. They'll also see we're taking very seriously the measuring of our performance, the building of the metrics that will measure how we do. Hopefully they'll see a much more direct impact on how they are impacting our veterans.
Great. And where can employees and everyone else read the plan?
Well, the plan was published in March of this year, and they'll find it on www.va.gov/performance. And there's even a little poster there, a one-page poster that people can print out. We hope that they do, and put it around their workplace.
Please visit www.va.gov/performance to read the plan. You can also download it and print out the strategic plan framework poster.